in the world.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti, and it's my birthday! 41 years old. What do you think of that? Stay out of the sun, kids, and you can look like this when you're 41, apparently. Sun's bad for you anyway. Skin cancer, you know, you'll look healthy. Who wants that? All right, let me, I just got home, and I'm not completely ready, almost ready. Live chat, or top chat rather, to live chat. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all I gotta do is type CiottiFPV like these beautiful people have been doing already. When you do that, it lights up in orange like this. You can type @ but you don't have to. As long as you type CiottiFPV, it'll light up an orange for me and I'll know that you're talking to me. Or you can do a super chat, and then I'll definitely read your comment. If you don't want Google and YouTube to take 30% of your money, you can head on over to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button. If you do a PayPal, do me a favor, type CiottiFPV into the chat and say, yo, I just sent you X dollars and Y cents over on PayPal. so that I can give you a shout out. And if you have any kind of a comment, just drop that. Lots of other good stuff going on CiottiFPV.com. This is my full-time job. If you like these streams and you want to see them continue, need your help, hop onto Patreon. It's $3 whole a month. That's only 10 cents a day. There's some Etsy links if you want some stickers or some random hardware that might help you during your building. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me. I can help you fly better, build better, and tune better. I've been doing this for over 5 years. And I would love to distill down a lot of knowledge that was very hard fought for me into bite-sized chunks for you so that, you know, you don't have to keep beating your head into it because this hobby is very difficult. So help me help you. Save yourself some money by spending some money on yourself with the gangly man so that you don't have to buy shitty parts and then put them together wrong and blow them up. Save you some time as well. Ha! There's a bunch of affiliate links over there as well. If you're ever doing an Amazon order for anything or orders on a whole bunch of these FPV websites, Oh My God's Site, FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, Get FPV, Banggood, a bunch of others. Think about your gangly buddy before you check out. Hit the affiliate link. It's free money. It's 1 to 6% of your entire shopping cart. Next time you're ordering, you know, a 20-gallon drum of Vaseline on Amazon, let me get 1% of that, yo. Let me get 1%. Give it to me. That's what she said. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper was first. He said, CiottiFPV, happy birthday, my friend, and good evening, everyone. Neek FPV was next. Airwave FPV, Nate Harm, Slide By, JR, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper again, I Could Fly Here FPV, Frank Nicholas, Freelojo FPV, Bangalore, Freelojo, Riot 9, Northern Tier, JR again, Mikhail I always ruin Mikhail's last name, sorry brother. Chopper FPV, Steady Eddie, Remy Tim, T-Bird, Morton Upshot, Aircon, Cole Powers, Tone, I'm just going to call you Tone instead of massacring your last name, 661 FPV, Fast, I'm going to say Fast Q, Greg Womack, Ram Donko, DM4DS, Izalku, Mr. Death, Neek, Chris, Airwave, A. Fredin, Martin Wynn, Pedro Tomei, Chris, Jeff Herzog, Jimmy Nature. We're going to leave it there. If you want the Gangly Man to say your name, you got to get in early. You got to say something in the chat. Slide By FPV tagged me and said, happy birthday, young man. JR said, what's up, happy birthday. Thanks, everybody. Apache Smoke Wood and Apache still can't speak. Apache Smoke with a 199-pound super chat. He says, just a small present for your birthday. Thank you very much, brother. Frank Nicholas says, happy birthday. Freelojo says, CiottiFPV, to find one's to find one's real age, turn their age around, which would mean that I am 14 years old. Sounds about right. Dick jokes, you know, that's what she said. Yeah, it's about right. I usually go with 8 years old, so, you know, 14 is a real step up. Northern Tier says, happy birthday, sir. Thank you, dude. Lots of beautiful birthday wishes. Thank you, everybody. Remy Tim says, rest in peace, old man. T-Bird says, what's up, ugly? Cole Powers says, happy birthday, yo. 661 says, OMFG, the thumbnail, bro. Yeah, I recycled last year's thumbnail. Last year, there was an Instagram filter that made you look very old. That was all the rage right around this time. So, yeah, that's where that thumbnail came from. Greg Womack says, happy birthday, you beautiful bastard. Thank you, dude. A. Fredin with 14 Nokias. Thank you, brother. Much, much, much appreciated. And a little piece of birthday cake. Digital birthday cake. Lots more happy birthday wishes. Thanks, everybody. Remy Tim with the 999 super chat. He says, happy birthday. Thank you, Daniel. If you guys have somebody that you're looking to get in the hobby, or if you just have technical questions, look up Remy Tim. He is the FPV Mentor, fpvmentor.com. Look him up. Super smart dude. Also, if you have long range, if you want to talk long range, he can help you out with that, with some one-on-one stuff. Tom's Lazy says, happy Easter. Mr. Death says, HB. Boys FPV says, hey. Zach Lothamer says, happy birthday. Mr. Death FPV says, born on Christ's death day. Jesus. So Ill Ariel says, happy birthday. Thank you, dude. Mr. Death says, does that make you anti-Christ? I wonder. Pretty much. Morton Upshot says, you want 1% of my drum of Vaseline only in monetary value. Morton, keep that Vaseline to yourself. If you're ordering a drum of it, Apparently you're gonna need it. Freelojo says, I appear to have bricked my QX7s. Wife told me must mean it's time to shop for a new one, but still a sad day. I didn't think you could brick a transmitter, but I haven't really tried very hard. That sucks, Freelojo. Can't you just hook it up to like OpenTX and do like a totally fresh, maybe put it on EdgeTX? Can EdgeTX be a fresh install? McConnell Studios with a $41 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says happy birthday. Thank you, dude. Very cool of you. Slide By says, how do you choose the correct VTX antenna on your drone? Also, Immortal T or L. What are your thoughts? Choosing the correct VTX antenna is just a matter of looking at your VTX and choosing the correct connector. Typically, the two most popular connectors are UFL and MMCX, so that's pretty easy. They look completely different. And then some other things to think about are how you're going to mount it. And technically speaking... Well, no, not technically speaking. You also have to know right-hand versus left-hand circular polarized. If you're on DJI, you're going to want, more than likely want left-hand circular polarized. Everything else, like regular analog, it's kind of a crapshoot. Typically, it's right-hand circular polarized. But yeah, that's about it. Pretty straightforward. And then Immortal T versus Immortal L. Immortal T is going to give you, that's the way that antenna was designed. So Immortal T is always going to give you better range and whatnot. If you mount it correctly, it's plenty durable. Steel's justification for the Immortal L is that it's more durable, but I don't buy it. An Immortal T on proper TPU mounts down nice and low, that's gonna be plenty durable. I've actually had the Immortal L's rotate and then drop down into the props. The vertical part of the Immortal L is not any more durable than an Immortal T on proper TPU mounts, dropping it down nice and low. So yeah, the Immortal L, I don't know if anybody's actually doing that anymore. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. It's not the way that antenna was designed, so you're going to lose range. And I haven't found it to be. I used to do it, and I didn't find it to be any more durable. In fact, I could argue that it's less durable. So yeah, Immortal T all day, in my opinion. GrizzFPV says 14-year-olds in the house. Slide By says, I meant the length of the antenna, my fault. So the length of the antenna, that's a really good question actually, is going to be all about what the rig is for. A long-range rig, you're going to want the longest antenna that you can possibly get. And then you just want to make sure that it's not super floppy because it could add a little wiggle to the gyro signal. If it's a freestyle basher rig, you want to go a little bit shorter. My preferred length... so here's a perfect example. This is not a basher rig. This is my cinematic rig that does a little bit of everything. So I've got a big old long antenna on there. And I have a double wrap of shrink wrap here to keep it so that it's you want it to be floppy so that if you crash upside down it can bend, but you don't want it to be so floppy that it's creating a false gyro signal. So you can do like 2 wraps of shrink wrap to accomplish that, or even better, if you cut the head off of a zip tie, this flat part, I forgot to do this on this rig, but this flat part of the zip tie does a really good job. If you lay it in before you put the shrimp wrap on the antenna, this flat part of the zip tie, the main thing that it's going to do is it's going to only allow the antenna to bend in this direction. It's not going to let it bend left to right, because the plastic is really thick in one direction, really thin in the other direction. So this is one of my favorite things to do. You just chop the little square bit off of a zip tie, you drop it in there, and then it's only going to let the antenna bend in this direction. So then if you look at your gyro signal and on the pitch axis, you have a weird spike in the noise. then you know it to be the antenna. By having it like this thing could rotate. This thing could wobble left and right. It could wobble up and down. It could technically even go in a little circle. So the next time I have this thing apart, I will be putting a piece of zip tie in there. So you got a really long antenna here on a rig that's not going to get crashed a lot. On a rig that is going to get crashed a lot, I prefer a much shorter antenna. I do like this length of antenna though, because when there's a battery on here, the battery is going to sit there, and if you're nose down, if you're flat, the antenna is going to be below the battery line, but you're typically not hovering, you're typically nose down. And so when you're nose down, as you can see, the head of the antenna clears the battery. So as long as you're flying around nose down, you're going to get really good coverage, right? If you guys can see this antenna, then you have direct line of sight to it. The worst case scenario with the antenna like this is when you're flying away, it's totally fine, right? You guys are still flying away, you can still see the antenna. Worst case scenario is you fly really far away, and then you flatten out, and you turn around. And now you've got the antenna head buried behind the battery. So when you fly really far away with the antenna low like this, you just don't flatten out. You just keep the nose down. And when you get really far away, you just turn around like this, and you can still see the antenna, so you've still got clear line of sight to the antenna. So yeah, don't hover looking back at yourself when you're really far away with a low antenna like this, or just run a tall antenna. And then even when you flatten out, you've still got line of sight on that antenna. So that's how you pick antenna length. It's a really big deal. The gear that you're running, like specifically the milliwatt of the VTX, is nowhere near as important as proper antenna placement. If you run one of those stupid little stubby antennas right off the rear standoffs, you're going to get terrible coverage even if you have a 7,000 gigawatt VTX in there, because no matter what, that signal is going to have to bounce off stuff. And when you go far away, the bounces become much more difficult. So yeah, proper antenna placement is the most important thing for getting good range. But there's a little bit of a trade-off in, how tall you have the antenna sticking up. The medium length antennas that exist are about the right length if you can get your VTX in the ass of the rig and run. I like to run direct UFL, right straight to the VTX. And that's going to be the perfect little amount, like you just saw there, of antenna hanging out. And then, yeah, once you have it all mounted up, just put your battery on the rig and do exactly like I just did. Take the rig and point it towards yourself and be like, all right, if I have like 10 degrees nose down, the antenna is going to clear my batteries. And that's, and then you're good to go. So just never completely flatten out. So there you go. Hopefully it'll help you out. Freelo just says, been trying to recover, nothing yet, but I'm stubborn. What are you recovering from, Freelojo? Jimmy Nature says, make sure you direct your question to Ciotti by adding CiottiFPV for your question. So I'm looking for Bangalore. FPV Bangalore says, when I turn on my buzzer, my quad won't arm nor continuously buzz. I'm forced to disconnect and reconnect the battery. Please help. I don't really know anything about buzzers, if I'm completely honest. I've never used a buzzer. So I don't know. Chat, do any of you guys use a buzzer? Have any of you guys heard of a problem like this? I don't even know where to begin. Unfortunately, I just don't use them. That sounds really weird though. I thought with buzzers, you just put them on the buzzer plus and minus pad, and then you just turned it on in the modes, and then you just flip it off and on with a switch. So yeah, sorry I can't help, brother. But yeah, I just don't use buzzers. I use the ESC beepers, which work totally fine for me. Jimmy Nature, thanks for calling that out. OG folks in the chat, when you see somebody ask a good question and they don't type CiottiFPV or they misspell CiottiFPV, do what Jimmy Nature did, if you don't mind. Rodolphe says, happy birthday. Are you going to Rampage in May? It looks like I should be going. It's not totally set in stone, but it looks pretty good for me going to Rampage in May. Hopefully we will have a Micro Mayhem area again this year. It's looking really good. I'm like 99% sure, but just gotta kind of confirm it. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Get your micros ready. Get your tiny whoops ready. The micro mayhem area is going to be in the same spot, and it's going to be tiny whoop heaven. We tried to fly 2.5 inch, 3 inch rigs around in there last year, and it's just a little tight, and everything is angry. Like everything is either metal or concrete in there. So a 3 inch rig doesn't really last all that long, if I'm honest, once you start bouncing off of stuff. Tiny whoops are the way. Big power tiny whoops. So get your 0802 25,000s and maybe build a couple tiny whoops, and you'll definitely break them, but you'll have a blast breaking them in the micro mayhem area. You're gonna love it. Remy Tim with a $1.99 super chat. He says, everybody hit thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you very much, Dan. Where are we at here? Gert Jan X says, happy birthday. Thank you, dude. FPV Bangalore says, so we got that. FPV Bangalore, you've asked the question a couple times. No more. It looks like chat's helping you out, so don't keep spamming the chat, please. Zach Lothamer says, been meaning to let you know you got me hooked on The Expanse. I'm 3 episodes into season 2 and I love it. It's great. If anybody hasn't checked it out yet, there's a show called The Expanse on Amazon Prime that the chat turned me onto, and I became a huge fan of, and now it looks like we're spreading the madness. Check it out. It's a really cool show. Even if you're not into sci-fi, you're probably going to like the show because they do a really good job like actually paying attention to the physics that would happen out in space, and that just adds a really cool aspect to sci-fi. So check it out. You'll like it. Chris Higgins says, how was the trip? It was excellent. I spent the last 3 days in Stone Mountain, Georgia, at Stone Mountain here in Georgia, and staying in a yurt. My parents got Maggie and I a gift certificate to Stone Mountain for their campgrounds for Christmas, and yeah, we decided to use a big chunk of it, and we stayed at a very cool yurt. There's a couple of pictures on my Instagram channel. You can get to my Instagram channel by heading over to CiottiFPV.com, and yeah, yurt life, yo. It was just really nice to kind of unplug and nap and just kind of sit by the lake and just enjoy life and quiet. And yeah, we went up to the top of the big old rock there. It was super foggy, but it was still cool to ride the gondola thing up. And then we rode the train around the rock, and then we just kind of explored. We just kind of cruised around and explored and sat by the lake and hung out in the trees and just stared off into nothing. It was really, really, really nice. So yeah, really nice, relaxing weekend. FPV's been nuts lately, so it was really good to just kind of take a break. I didn't bring anything. I kind of wish I'd brought like at least a little tiny whoop. There was a really cool area of big tall pine trees right next to our yurt. Would have been fun, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta unplug. FPV as a full-time job is like your full-time job, right? And so when you go on vacation, you probably don't like participate in activities that are exactly the same thing as your full-time job. You know what I mean? Not to say that I don't still enjoy flying, but yeah, sometimes you gotta just leave it and spend some time away from it in order to prevent burnout. This is one of the ways that I've found to prevent burnout before it starts, which is really important. You know, I want this to be, I want FPV as a career to be kind of like a forever thing. So if I'm going to do that, I have to be able to turn it off. I can't just burn 10 hours a day, 365 days a year on FPV, and expect it to last more than a couple of years. And I'm pretty hell-bent on making that a reality and just doing this in the long term. So it was nice to just unplug. Shirt of the day! Hippie Chewbacca with Stop Wars at the bottom. I wish we would all listen to Hippie Chewbacca. Chris, we got that. Freeloader says, trying to recover my QX7S. Got it, Freeloader, got it. Gouda says, how do you mount your Vtx antenna? On Thingiverse, I'm gonna pull it up right now for you. there is a brilliant, super simple piece, which was designed by an old microframe manufacturer called Rotorius that used to sponsor me before they, before the company was transferred over to someone else who it shouldn't have been transferred over to, and they kind of ran it into the ground, unfortunately. Collections, there we go. I'm gonna pull it up here for you. Where is it at? This works really well on the Glide. It'll work really well on pretty much anything that has even close to the Glide width rear standoffs. Even if the standoffs are way different, you can probably get this to work. There is a link in the chat. This is my favorite little way of mounting a direct UFL antenna. The UFL part of the antenna drops right in here, and then you take two tiny little zip ties, and you put them on this part, and so it's the TPU is like this, the UFL goes in there like that, and then the zip ties make the TPU really grab onto the UFL. If you can remember, you can also put a piece of shrink wrap on there too. That helps as well. But I've found two zip ties that you really crank down does a good enough job clamping down on the UFL, so that what happens when you go crashing through Scraggle is the head on the antenna gets caught in the branches and it pulls. So to have that TPU really crank down, that takes all of the abuse. If you don't have that, it's gonna rip the antenna right out of the head of the UFL from the VTX. So it's really important to get those zip ties on there so that TPU grabs the UFL and it's the strain relief there. And then worst case scenario, if it really gets hung up on the head of the antenna, it's gonna just rip the head of the antenna off. But that was gonna happen anyway, right? Like there's no way around that. So that's the best situation. This little setup here is also going to save you about 10 grams from using a UFL or MMCX to SMA, and then having a piece of TPU to hold the SMA brick, and then having an SMA antenna screwed into the SMA brick. Yes, if you do eventually blow up your antenna, this is a little bit harder to change the antenna out than just unscrewing and screwing in an SMA, but 10 grams is a ton of weight. Being able to save 10 grams is a really, really, really big deal. There aren't many things on these rigs that we can do to save 10 grams that don't like cripple a part of the rig. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for a long time. It works phenomenally well. My favorite antennas at the moment are TrueRC OCP. That's their cheap line of antennas. They're $12 each. They are more durable than the TrueRC Singularities. They're not quite as, they don't have quite as good performance as the Singularity, but for a bash or freestyle rig, it's not about antenna performance, it's about toughness. So yeah, the TrueRC OCPs are $12 each, and they've just been phenomenal for me. Right, good questions so far, friends. YouTube just did the thing, scrolling back up. Mr. Death FPV says, I finally got a Cinewoop, picked up a Taycan MXC 4S. It's aight. Very cool, Mr. Death. Beat it up. The Taycans are super heavy, and the advantage of those super heavy Cinewoops is you can just smash them into stuff. So pound on that thing, man. That's what it's going to do really well. FPV Trucker says, happy birthday, my friend. Thank you, dude. Whit Mead says, happy birthday, dude. Thank you. Andrew Duncan says, happy birthday. Martin Wynn with a £5 super chat. He says, when's the next crit live race? Happy birthday again. I just burned both my fingers on my soldering iron, noob. Thanks, Martin. The next crit race is the end of May. They have not brought me, I have not heard from them that they're going to bring me on for anything other than the one race that I just did. I have a feeling that they will, but I have a feeling it's not going to be dependent upon them wanting to or not. I think it's going to be depending upon like safety stuff. You know, this was an experiment. There have been a bunch of safety weenies that have been bitching and moaning in comments when they've posted some of the footage on Instagram. I've spent a lot of time trying to reach out to those people and talk to those people and make them understand that, you know, sub 250 gram rig is literally considered a toy, blah, 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 blah. You know, and we had safety people on site that were totally happy with there were half a dozen people that at any point could have said, like, no, this ain't safe, like, we're not doing this. And every single one of them was like, wow, this is way more safe than the alternatives. The two main alternatives are an actual helicopter in the sky, which is just the least safe thing in the fucking world. And the other option that's very common with cycling races, I gotta stop saying bicycle. I know it's insulting to cyclists. The other thing, which is also fairly unsafe, is 500 pounds of motorcycle with another 500 pounds of human being on there, 2 people, and then another 100 pounds of cinema camera with some kind of a 2.4 gigahertz link riding around in front and behind the pack. And like time and time again, that setup has caused huge pileups and huge problems. So a sub 250 gram drone flown by someone that's obsessed about safety, who's been flying for almost 6 years, realistically, it's absolutely the safest possible way to get more than static footage. So yeah, if people, it's a situation where like people are not willing, just dumb people, man, just dumb people. Let's just say it. Dumb people that can't pull their heads out of their asses to think for 3 seconds about what I just said and understand that, yes, it's just this, like, there's just this, like, burn the witch at the stake thing when the word drones comes out. And it's like, it's just insane. It's just so dumb. People are just very, very dumb. So don't be dumb. That's my birthday advice for you. Just don't be dumb. Don't be closed-minded. Don't like assume stuff. Be open-minded, be intelligent, be willing to change, be willing to be wrong, right? Like, this is the other thing, people like I dealt with this on a lot of these comments. Like, people would freak out and comment, and like I would put a really thoughtful reply and I would message them individually, and it's just crickets, because people just can't possibly stand being even remotely wrong about anything ever. And it's a real problem. Like, it's a real fucking problem that people just can't deal with being wrong. You need to be the opposite. You need to be wrong all the time, because the only time that you ever learn or better yourself or become a better human is when you're wrong. Be wrong all the time. I'm wrong every day. It's fine. Who gives a shit? Anybody, like, if you're going to feel bad about being wrong and you're surrounding yourself with other people that feel bad about being wrong, like, that's not what you want. You want to surround yourself with people that are wrong all the time, because then you guys are all going to learn and listen and be better humans. Be wrong. Be open-minded. Be wrong. NeekFPV says, do you wear the Stig helmet when you race online? I did try it on one of the I think it was an Assetto Corsa live stream. It was miserable. It's hot in there. Usually, like in a proper car, there's airflow coming in the windows, and you can crack your helmet up a tiny little bit, and you can get a good amount of airflow in there, and you don't have to deal with the visor fogging and shit like that. You don't get that when you're sitting in your living room. The other problem is my headset doesn't fit under the helmet, so it was hard for people to hear me through the microphone. It was fun for a couple of minutes, and then I took it off, and that was that. But yeah. Dragon Wing says, happy birthday. Thank you, dude. Go-Kart Mozart says, what up, birthday boy? I've got 2 weeks. YouTube just did the thing. Come on, YouTube. It's my birthday. Don't do this to me. I've only got 2 weeks left in my 30s, and I'm jumping over the hill with you. Welcome, Go-Kart. It sucks. My neck hurts for no reason. Slide by says, do you have a second for non-UFL? I don't know what that means, Slide by. Tag me again and give me more to go off of. I'm not sure what that question means. Gertjan says, I have an Eachine EV800D. I've seen people mounting a Fat Shark module on the goggles. Is it worth the money? And what exactly is the advantage? Eachine's video components are usually like staggeringly good. The Fat Shark module, the module made by Fat Shark, is not very good. So I'll bet you that the Eachine internal VRX, that's the video receiver module, their internal receivers are probably far better than the OG Fat Shark module. The rapid fire module is probably better though than the internal Eachine VRXs, but I don't know. I feel like a better bet would be to get rid of those goggles, snag a set of used Fat Shark HD3s. You can probably get a set for like $150-ish. And then you slap a rapid fire in there. You can probably find a set of Fat Shark HD3s with a rapid fire module for maybe like $200, maybe $220, maybe even $250. That's going to be a much better deal. In my opinion, you're going to get your money out of the Eachine E800Ds now. As those get older, they're going to lose their value a lot more quickly than a set of Fat Sharks. So yeah, I would do that. I would move those goggles along because it sounds like you want better video reception. Get yourself into Fat Shark HD3s or HDOs or even HDO2s. I really like the HD3s though, and they're a hell of a bargain. And then you've got something that'll hold its value a little bit better. Fat Sharks are always going to hold their value really, really well because they have incredible customer support and they're just the standard. Brandon's Baked Bean says, happy birthday! I'm building a birthday build today. Actually, just an analog transplant to a new frame plus DJI. And other than that, I'm chilling with the family. We did Easter Friday. Today is mine. Very cool, Brandon. If you guys are in need of black box based tuning, I do have tuning help that I do through Fiverr, but I don't use black box. I do everything sort of like by ear and just like by what we talk about in the session. If you want to go a little bit, and so I can get your tune to like maybe 80%, 90% good. And I personally prefer that. I prefer to have my tunes backed off a little bit so that if I bang up a propeller or a motor or an arm, I can still fly it home safely. But if you've got a rig that's not, that you're having trouble with the tune on, black box is an absolute lifesaver. Brandon's Baked Beans charges $1 a minute, which is a hell of a deal, to help you out with tuning through black box. So hit him up. He's here in the chat. He's also on Discord all the time. YouTube just did the thing again. Dan636 with a $4.20 super chat. He says, happy birthday, gangly man. Thank you, Dan. Much appreciated, my man. Thanks again, Martin Wynn, as well. Roommate Tim says, but CiottiFPV drones gave my child gay autism, and they're mining my data. Yeah, that's the problem. They do that. They do that. But, you know, I'm willing to overlook. North 49RC says, happy birthday. CiottiFPV, Brandon Baked Beans, congrats for making it this far. So Ill Ariel says, wire up a cooling fan inside the Stig helmet somewhere. No real room for that. The inside of motorsport helmets are just packed with foam because motorsport helmets are a little different than any kind of like motorcycle or biking helmets in that they're designed to bounce around inside of a roll cage. So like where motorcycle helmets and bicycle helmets, they have the opportunity to have like gaps in the foam because they're designed to explode basically on impact because you're only going to hit once. So, you know, those style of helmets, they want to hit and just like dissipate all of that energy, and like by doing that they kind of explode, and then that, you know, that's the only time they're hit. Motorsport helmets, they're designed to stay together because inside of a car, if it starts rolling, you have the potential to hit the roll bar up here over and over and over again. So I'm sure he was being funny with it. But yeah, it's something that not many people understand about helmet design, and it's actually really important. Yeah, roll cages are... I mean, there are rules where you're supposed to have pretty thick foam on the roll cages to prevent that from happening, but the helmet manufacturers also, hey, you know, just another fun piece of tech. Northern Tier FPV with a $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, happy birthday, my friend. Vista Darkside Fund. Very cool. 300 goes to 320. Thank you, brother. I already spent all of this and then some last week when Joshua and It's Blunty did the news, and they said, you know, the existing Caddx Vistas might be discontinued in the future. I jumped on GetFPV and panic bought a bunch of as many Vistas as I could afford, and we're gonna do mailbag in a minute. I think they're in this box. Thank you very much, Northern Tier. Very cool of you. Slide By says, it was about the Vtx Antenna Mount you mentioned. I want to know if there was a good one for people that don't use UFL. I just switched to a TBS Unify Pro 1-watt MMC. So you can just do the exact same thing, Slide By. A direct MMCX antenna has that same UFL section that's that standard thickness. So yeah, just get a direct MMCX antenna, and you can do the exact same thing, and you can use that mount. On an MMCX antenna, it's just as important too, because if you pull the MMCX real hard, you can break the pin off inside the VTX, and that's almost impossible to get out. That's one of the dirty little secrets. MMCX is supposed to be so much better than UFL, but in my experience, it's definitely not, because if you screw up and you yank on it, it ruins the entire VTX versus just ruining your antenna. So I actually really prefer UFL because in the worst case scenario, you don't ruin the VTX itself. Not to mention that even if you do yank the UFL pad off, you can buy replacement UFL pads and just pretty easily solder them back on there. So, but you know, MMCX is easier to plug and unplug, so some people still do like it. I hate the idea that you can break that pin off inside there. And like, I've heard of people getting it out, but typically what I hear is that in the process of trying to get it out, they wreck that port, and then it's wrecked anyway. So I stay away from MMCX. So it's going to be it's going to be really important for you to strain relief that antenna on your MMCX, like I was talking about before. But yeah, you can use that same TPU piece. Mr. Death FPV says, I love my HD ones. Yeah, Fast Shark goggles are just awesome, and the fact that they're so cheap used now is really, really good. Mr. Death says, Dominator HD ones. YouTube's the thing again. Jesus Christ on a cracker. Ooh, my neck is really starting to bother me. Mr. Huggy says, check your PayPal. At least you're not as old as me. Opening up my email. Dan636 says, also, motorcycle helmets are useless after one impact. Even if it just falls off the table and hits the ground, it won't provide the best protection either. Yeah, that's a really good point, Dan. That's one of the other things. I mean, that's actually true with helmets in general. Helmets in general, if you drop them, they're done. It sucks because they're expensive, and most people don't. You know, most people drop it and they're like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. It's not. Like, if you drop a helmet, helmets are designed to fracture. They're designed to break. So, yeah, if you care about your head and your brain, and if you're doing something that requires a helmet, you should, because you could die or get brain damage and, you know, nasty shit like that. Suck it up, you know? It's not worth being a vegetable for the rest of your life, you know? If you drop your helmet, get rid of it. Put it on eBay, say only dropped once. I mean, you can absolutely put it up on eBay. Specifically call out, I dropped this. Helmets should not be dropped. Decoration only, or something like that, you know, or just put it on your shelf as decoration only. This helmet, as well as the Black Stig helmet, which is on that side, those are both old enough. The other thing is helmets expire. Those are both too old to really be used in any actual form of motorsport. But they're wonderful decoration, and you can use them when you're playing Assetto Corsa on your sim rig for 5 minutes before you get annoyed. Paul McDonald sent $10 over on PayPal. Happy birthday, man. Thank you very much, sir. And then we've got another couple rolling in here. Oh, thanks, Facebook. $23. All I have to do is spend money to get it. Michael Hill with a $30 PayPal. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. And then a little bit of Chris Hugman sent $41. Mr. Huggy, thank you, dude. He says, happy birthday, Ciotti, from Mr. Huggy. Thank you, man. Very, very cool of you. Much, much appreciated. You guys are the goddamn best. Yeah, motorcycle and biking helmets are the worst in terms of being dropped. Motorsport helmets, you still don't want to drop them, but technically speaking, they're designed to bounce around like I was talking about. But yeah, if you drop your helmet, especially if you drop your helmet hard, do yourself a favor, don't use it. Get a new one. It's not worth it. Dan636 says, after not either, pertaining to my previous message. After not either. I can't find your previous message, Dan. YouTube just did the thing again. Sorry, brother. Oh, wait. No, after not either. After not either. I got it. It won't provide the best protection after. Yep. Gator FPV with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Gator. He says, happy birthday with a little cupcake. I wish I could just eat my screen. Strange thing to come out of my mouth. That's what she said. Mr. Huggy says, now you spent loads on Vistas. DJI is now bound to launch a single layer 20x20 Vista board that only works with the V3. That, or they're going to do 1080, or they're going to do lower latency. You know. I shouldn't have waited so long, I guess, to go to DJI. Whatever. It's fine. No regrets. The TV truck was perfectly happy with the quality of the DJI system, and yeah, hopefully I get some more gigs from them. Whatever V3 is. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Paul McDonald says, now you're going digital. Will you sell me your power play? So I'm never gonna go. The short answer is no. I'm never gonna go full DJI because of the Tiny Whoop stuff. Tiny Whoops will just, they'll always be analog. And the power play is the best way of me getting actual footage off of the Tiny Whoops. And I am going to be doing some Tiny Whoop edits, so I do still need the power play. It's a great little device. Admittedly, limited usage, but it's an awesome little device. That's for sure. Dan636 says $475 for the icon of my profile pic, and it was on sale. Yeah, I got. So these are. Both Stig helmets are Simpsons. The white Stig helmet is the Simpson Razorback. The black Stig helmet is the Simpson Super Daytona. I can't believe I remember that. And then on the Simpson Razorback here, you got to get the $80 visor for it to become the actual Stig helmet. And then on the black one, I got the black visor. I think I got this. It had just expired. So helmets have a 5-year life for wheel-to-wheel motorsports, and then they typically have a 10-year life for solo-based, time trial-based motorsports, although it depends. I bought this when it was in its 6th year, so it couldn't be used for wheel-to-wheel stuff anymore, or track days, and I think I paid $350, which was a hell of a deal. Simpson helmets are very, very expensive. The Super Daytona I paid a little bit less than that for because it was almost 10 years old. With autocross, at the time I was autocross is a lot more lenient on older helmets, but yeah, protect your head. That's all there is to it. Ramdonko says 50 UFL connectors equal $5.90. Thanks. Yep. They're surprisingly easy to fix and just solder back on there. Go-Kart Mozart says, I've dropped my helmet with my head in it a time or two. Martin Fuchs with a 19... I spit everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. It was like a sprinkler going off. Martin Fuchs with a 1999 super chat. Thank you, dude. He says, happy birthday and all's gut zum Geburtstag. Also, mind reading me, that sounds weird. Who do you suggest for tuning and how to contact that person? I know about Brian White, but would like to try something else. Brandon's Baked Beans, or just Brandon's Beans. Here in the chat. And on my what's happening? And on my Discord. Link to the Discord on CiottiFPV.com. If you want full access to the Discord, you got to give me $3 a month over on Patreon, and it'll link you up and it'll give you access to the whole chat, the whole Discord page. One of the benefits of full Discord access is you can get in on the Stick End Fund. I am buying one of every M3 and M4 stick end, and then sending it out to patrons that have joined the little thing. There's a specific patron text channel called Dick Ends, because I'm 14 years old, and everything is explained in there, how to get in on the deal. And then, yeah, you'll get a kit with every single stick end available. You have to try them all out, and then send the kit off to the next person, and then buy yourself your favorite stick end. I am, bruh says, well, this is gay, so he gets hid from the entire channel. Hope it was worth it. What else do we got here? Yeah, Brandon's Baked Beans, Martin, is going to help you out. And great guy. And $1 a minute is a really good deal. So hook him up. There he is. Jack Lanois says, what is happening? Says, are you going to get the Axis flying thing for DJI video output? Yes, actually. Joshua is sending me his Axis power box as well. So I learned a couple of things. Joshua checked for me. So the smart controller forces a DJI watermark on the bottom left, and the TV truck really did not like that. DigiView also seems to force their logo on the bottom left corner. The Axis box does not. The Axis flying box does not have their logo or anybody's logo in the bottom corner. So I have a feeling that the Axis box is pretty much what I need to do. Once it arrives from Joshua, I'm going to mess around with it and see, make sure that it's bulletproof and yada, yada, yada. I still do need to contact Aber the Ham on Discord because he's been building a thing to do this. I think it's based on DigiView though, so I think it's going to have that logo, the DigiView logo forced in the corner, which unfortunately is a little bit of a deal breaker. But I still want to talk to him because the pain in the ass with the Axis box is it doesn't have a screen built in, and it makes things a little bit more confusing for these live flying gigs for me not to have a screen to make absolutely sure that when I take off, I'm sending the TV truck live video. So yeah, it just, yeah. I'm hoping that if the Axis box works out, I can hit up Brian from Brain 3D to design me a little enclosure for the Axis box with a tiny little monitor on top so that I can just have a super simple little setup with a tiny little screen. But yeah, I have plenty of time. I have a month and a week before the next live flying gig. So I have plenty of time to get this all figured out. And yeah, I'm excited. Really, really excited. I hope they bring me on for the next one. I hope they bring me on for this whole season. That would be incredible. I had a real blast. The money was great, and the people that I worked with were super professional. So, yeah, and also the music video and short film gigs have kind of dried up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe FPV was just like the hot, fresh thing last year, and maybe people have kind of fallen out of love with it a little bit, or I don't know. Maybe they're booking another pilot here in Atlanta. Not really sure, but I have not had. Maybe it's just still too early. It is still kind of cold out. So it, you know, there just might not be as many music videos being shot right now. I don't remember last year. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, last year around this time, I don't think I was getting booked hot and heavy. I was knee deep in the divorce, so I was, yeah, not in a great place. But my oh my, how things have changed in just 1 year. No matter what happens to you, friends, don't give up. Do not give up. It's not worth it. Move the fuck on, put your head down, and just mash, and some really good shit can happen. I'm in a, yeah, I'm in a much better relationship right now. I'm in a much better place mentally, physically, spiritually, and yeah. So even when bad shit happens, like, mourn for a little bit because you need to, but then just mash forward, man. There's nothing that says that you need to mourn for a year or 2 years or 10 years. You know, mourn for a little bit and then use that shit as fuel, man, and just pour that fucking fuel in your fire and just move on to bigger and better things, because they are out there, I promise you. I know it's not going to seem like it, but yeah, they are for sure out there. And remember, there you have it, friends. We haven't had Clam Man on here in a little while. Feels good. Feels good, man. Veritas Visa says, I always wear a helmet to bed. You never know when the wife is going to pound you into the headboard. That's what she said. Athix says, HD0 for whoops. Technically, yes, but 4 grams is a bit much, unfortunately. That for the full tilt, full boogie, like hardcore indoor freestyle whoops, 4 grams is a little bit too much of a weight penalty, unfortunately. I don't see a world where they'll be able to shrink that digital chipset down. Maybe they will, but I really doubt it. I really think that whoops will forever be, at least in small places, you know, 1,000 square feet, 1,500 square feet. I'd say even upwards of 2,000 square feet. I think whoops are always going to be an analog game. Because yeah, that 4 or even 3 grams, that's too much. You know, you can get AIOs with VTXs built in, so there's 0 weight penalty for the VTX on some of these analog tiny whoops, and that makes a huge difference. So yeah, the HD0 on whoops thing is really interesting, but yeah, unfortunately, that 4 grams, or if they get it even lighter, 3 grams, it's a little too much. A little too much extra fatness. Dan636 says, $80 for a visor, holy crap. Yeah, Simpson stuff is very expensive. Very, very expensive. But it's really good quality. Simpson stuff is top-notch. Your head is protected very well. Jimmy Nature says, your spitting reminds me of my high school German teacher. Nobody wanted to sit in the front row. Yella, YouTube, come on, man. Yella Captain says, YouTube, what are you doing to me? Late to the birthday party, happy birthday, thank you, dude. Cole Powers says, I've never noticed a logo on my Fat Shark HD0 VRX. Is the watermark on the new VRX? No, we're not talking about HD0, Cole. We're talking about DJI. HD0 would not work for the live broadcast gigs. The quality of the video is just not good. It's really DJI, or there's a GoPro setup that's a kind of a nightmare. There are some live flying setups, but most of them are a complete nightmare. Doing it with DJI worked phenomenally, and it's super lightweight, super solid. It's the way to go unless the TV truck needs 1080. And if they think that they need 1080, they probably don't actually need 1080, but good luck convincing video people that 720 will be sufficient. I guess you can maybe show them some of the stuff that I did for America Crit, but that'll be a really tough sell. So, Paul McDonald says, I can design that box for you. If you can't, just let me know. Very cool. Thank you, Paul. Athix says, the Brug guy got hidden on TweetFPV stream today. Interesting. Some people are just awful humans, but, you know, whatever. That's their choice. All we can do is delete them from existence, and hopefully someday they'll learn to grow up. Paul McDonald, we got that. Slide By says, F yeah, man, you have helped a lot of us through stuff. I appreciate it, dude. Tom's Lazy says, have you seen the Amazon Ring Always Come Home cam drone replica from Quad Mover? I have not. I am subscribed to Quad Mover, but I have not. I have heard of that little rig though that takes off and answers the door or whatever. It's kind of wild. Freeloader says, I appear to have accomplished the impossible, and I have actually bricked my QX7. Excellent Clamman timing. That's wild, man. What the hell is that about? Well, at least they're cheap. You can pick up a used one, take all your gear out of it, and transfer it over. NeekFPV says, thanks, man. I needed that today. Always here for you, Neek. Always. Cole Powers says, I may have misheard you. In reference to what, Cole? I could fly here FPV with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. He says, can you use the Session 5 vertical with Real Steady? Do I need to flip the screen / gyro on the Session? Well, you can't use the Session on Real Steady, period. The gyro data does not work. So, yeah, but I don't think that you can use vertical video. Like if you were to get a Hero 8 or a Hero 6 or 9 or 10 vertical mount, I do not. In Real Steady 1, I don't think there's any way to do it. The only setting is flip gyro data, and that flips it all the way upside down. There are no settings to do a 90 degree with the gyro data in Real Steady 1. Maybe Real Steady 2 has something like that. The Insta360 Go software does have the ability. You can go 16:9 or 9:16. It's all built in. But yeah, it's I don't know of any vertical stuff that's going to work with anything other than Insta360. Maybe GyroFlow. Maybe GyroFlow will do it. But yeah, Session 5 does not work with Real Steady. I mean, I guess technically you can put it on one of those crazy mounts that's super soft, but those mounts are super sketchy, man, because like you're just, if you crash hard, the session's gonna rip off and you're gonna lose it. So yeah. Thanks again for the generosity. I could fly here, much appreciated. Chris says, I can see HD0 working on 85mm whoops, maybe. Yeah, an 85 millimeter whoop is going to be a total nightmare in any space less than like 3,000 square feet, I would say. Even the 75 millimeter whoops, they really don't. They're just not. They fly, and you can absolutely fly them, but you can't do like the really hardcore stuff that is possible with a 65 millimeter whoop with 0802 25,000s. So yeah, to me, there's really no reason to run them, but that's just me. Mr. Huggy says, HD0 and whoops, you're gonna eat your words. If it's anything like has happened in racing, everyone is going to swap over the low latency with the good picture. Yeah, I mean, certainly everyone is not, because I'm not gonna. I've flown whoops that are a couple of grams heavier, and it's just not my thing. It's like for the types of off-throttle throws that I have now realized are possible with these really lightweight 65 mil whoops, I can't go back. Like, and that's something that I've heard from a couple of folks who have followed my advice and built these really lightweight, overpowered tiny whoops, is that they can't go back. Because yeah, I mean it's just absurd. It's just outrageous to be able to do some of the stuff that you can do with these really lightweight rigs. And yeah, I would rather have the ability to do those movements, those camera movements, with shitty quality video than good-looking video and a rig that doesn't fly as good. But again, that's just me. If you have valuables in your house that you don't want to break, then yeah, it's a good. You don't want something that's going to allow you to do such wild stuff, and it's going to benefit you to be able to see where the hell you're going to not break your valuables. I do have valuable stuff, but I'd rather have more fun flying and break something here and there. Riot 9 says Divimath chip is bigger than my eggplant. Ruby Tim says, if you or anyone else needs 1080 plus broadcast, the only thing I recommend is reaching out to Gap707. He was flying a proprietary broadcast system. I don't know any more than that. There's a couple of folks that have been doing the live flying. I didn't even realize Gab was one of them. That's interesting. But yeah, there's a couple folks that are doing it, and none of the systems are like, it all seems like kind of a pain in the ass other than DJI. I did a little bit of research, and yeah, everything is kind of either really expensive or a hodgepodge. And when you're dealing with like if it's like a fly-by-night thing or you're just doing it for fun, sure, go with the hodgepodge setup. But if you're dealing with a proper, team that's paying you a lot of money, you can't have that. You got to have something that's absolutely locked in, because otherwise, you're going to show up, it ain't going to work, and they're going to be pissed, and they're never going to hire you again, and they're going to tell everyone else in that world to not hire you, as well they should, because, if you get hired for thousands of dollars to have a working setup, and you show up and it's not 100% bulletproof, like, that's not good. That's unacceptable in the film world. Just so you know, that has always been the case, and I've been in the film world for many, many, many years. So yeah, don't be that guy. Plus, at that point, you kind of give all FPV pilots a bad name, and again, bad. Don't do that. Where am I at here? Daniel Harmon says, can a BEC for a GoPro clone take 6S? Do they work good? Who sells them? Are all GoPro batteries the same form factor? First question, can a BEC for a GoPro clone take 6S? Depends on the BEC. You got to check on the specs on whatever the BEC is. There's not just one BEC, there's a million different BECs. So you need to check whichever one you've already bought or are planning on buying. You got to check the specs. Do they work good? That's tough. I mean, they work, and then eventually they fail. Sometimes they don't. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that good or bad. Who sells them? Everybody, all the FPV stores and Amazon, and you can just do a Google search. And then are all GoPro batteries the same form factor? Absolutely not. The GoPro 5, 6, and 7 use the same battery. The 8 might use that. Yes, the 5, 6, 7, 8, the Hero 5, 6, 7, 8 all use the same battery. The 9 uses a different battery. I don't know if the 10 uses... Somebody in chat will back me up. The 9 and 10 might use the same battery. I think that's all the questions, right? Yeah, there we go. And just like that, we're caught up on chat, and that means... I stole that from Mighty Car Mods. Go subscribe to their channel so that they don't sue me. It's short enough where I don't think I get copyright struck by using it. But show Mighty Car Mods some love. They are the best car-related and off-roading and rotary channel on the internet. Look what Maggie got me for my birthday! Ah! This is for my sim rig for Gran Turismo 7, Assetto Corsa, all the stuff. This is amazing. The difference in immersion in sim games from having a gated shifter versus not having a gated shifter is staggering. they're still really good without using the paddles, but yeah, it's like next level immersion having a physical shifter, because like everything other than the lateral G-force is now simulated. Steering wheel, force feedback, pedals, shifter. All of your hand motions, all of the, and for me, with being into motorsports for so many years, there's a lot of muscle memory in my brain. So to be able to tap into that and row gears, yeah, super rad. And this is Thrustmaster's setup. If you're in the market for a sim rig setup, skip Logitech, go directly to Thrustmaster. You're going to spend an extra couple $100, but you're going to get a huge increase in quality. This shifter is really, really nice, and it's really chunky, and yeah, it's just super rad. Look what the kids got me! I finally, it took 41 years on this earth, but I finally have a slingshot. I was never allowed to have a slingshot growing up. This is gonna be in, this is gonna live in my car, and this is for slingshotting a fishing weight up over a tree branch with a fishing line hooked up to it when I get a quad stuck in a tree. This is kind of like the smallest, most accurate, most powerful way to get a fishing line up and over a branch. It works staggeringly well. I hope I don't shoot my eye out. Thanks, Sage. Thanks, Azalea. You guys are the best. Look at this. Mail. Oh, Aunt Eileen and Uncle Jerry. I'm not going to open cards for you guys. I'll open those on the couch when I'm just hanging out. Mom and Dad sent me a birthday card. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And Jackalope FPV sent me something. Let's see what it is. Another package from one of you guys as well. Jackalope, what you got? What you got? What you got? Ooh, very cool. Jackalope FPV sent me stickers. I think I was supposed to send him some stickers in exchange. And a little note. Long live the collective. Thank you very much, Jackalope. This is super cool. Look at this guy. He's got a logo, and his logo is a little jackalope. Here's a big version. There's a whole bunch of jackalope stickers in here. Rad, man. Thank you. This is a great little logo. Jackalope is a funny little... That's a little bit different design. Very cool. Thank you, Jackalope. Was I... did I send you my stickers? I think I was supposed to... I think we were trading stickers, right, Jackalope? Did I send you some? If not, let me know. And I obviously will. Thank you, dude. Very cool of you. Sticker boxes over there. Got a little bit of love from Mr. Patrick McDonald. Wait, is it Patrick? Patrick McDonald. No. Is it Pete? Is it It's Patrick. Man, I have a hard time keeping your guys' names straight. There's so many of you. I love you all, though, I swear. P. McDonald, sending some TPU. Thank you very much, brother. This is 15% infill. IG? What's IG stand for? Some red TPU. These are the little Immortal T holders. These are available on Thingiverse. Much appreciated. Ooh, and this is a satellite. Not a satellite. This is a GPS holder. Very, very cool. Thank you, dude. I guess it goes in. I'll play with it. I'll play with it later. That's what she said. Ooh, that's a cool little 45-degree angle antenna holder. The hole's a little small, though. Ooh, this is a good one, too. This is going to hold the... this is another 45-degree antenna holder, but this is sized for the DJI antennas. That's awesome. Much appreciated on that one. And then... Oh, this is a little... this is hard to explain. This is a... Paul. It's Paul. Sorry, Paul. This is a little capacitor holder that's going to go on the center standoff of a glide. This might be the solution to my not having a great spot for the capacitors on the DJI glides. So very cool. Thank you very much, Paul. Sorry for calling you the wrong goddamn name. I'm the worst. Oh, very cool, man. Thank you. So these are more, okay, 65% infill. Very cool. So 15% infill, 65% infill. I'm really curious to actually weigh these to see what the difference is. Thank you, dude. This is super cool of you. Much appreciated. That'll get a couple rigs back up in the sky with a better little setup there. I've been struggling with the DJI stuff to get my TPU completely figured out and like locked in. Make sure you always cut towards yourself, friends. Slideby says, did you ever print your stickers for the caps? No, I kind of forgot about it, if I'm completely honest. RC Ritter says, happy birthday. Thank you, dude. Go-Kart says, I'm jelly. I need a shifter my sim rig. Yeah, I'm super excited. Brain 3D is printing me I can't use that yet. I don't have a way of mounting it on the Play Seat Challenge. But on Thingiverse, there's a couple of mounts for the Play Seat Challenge. Brain 3D is printing me a mount for it very, very kindly. If you need 3D printed stuff, Brain 3D is the best. Brian's a great guy, and he has sponsored me, and that's a big deal. That's very cool of him. So this is a little panic Get FPV order. I got a couple of these. I forget who it was in chat that called it out, but these Xylo left-hand circular polarized UFL antennas are blue. And I've now got the Rossi and the Razorback, which the whole ass end of the rig is blue to simulate the blue engines on the Expanse ships. So these are, yeah, these are very cool. Oh, here it is, actually. Here's the Rossi right now. Right now, I've got the little Beta FPV Vtx antenna on here, but these guys have a much longer cord, so I'll be able to get the antenna up a little bit higher with these Xylos. I'll probably wait until this antenna gets the hell beaten out of it, and then I'll swap it out. But yeah, if you're going to do an Expanse build, like I have been, here's a blue antenna for the ass end of your Expanse rigs. Let's throw these guys over here. These were the panic buys. This is a Vista with the big ass silver DJI camera, and then this is a Vista with the Nebula Pro Nano. Yeah. I was probably a little premature, but that's what she said. No, but yeah, I need these for one more rig that's good, two more rigs that are getting put together, hopefully for the American Crit cycle racing shenanigans. So with these, I'm pretty much good to go, and I'm excited about that. These are a couple of Immortal Tees. For some reason, I kind of ran out of Immortal Tees, so now I'm back up to full strength. And then these, I've already shown you guys these once, but I want to show you these again because I really think that these are worth, they're a little expensive, it's $10, but these are canvas propeller bags, and they're marked clockwise and counterclockwise. There are no other propeller bags that I've found that will hold up to, proper propellers with sharp blades on them. These are awesome. These also hold like the perfect amount of propellers, like not too many, not too few. They fit in your bag really nice, and yeah, they're this really nice canvas material, which the plastic tips of the propellers are no match for. So yeah, Get FPV sells these. They're this company, X-Helix, X-H-E-L-I-X, and they are called the FPV Prop Bag. So head on over to CiottiFPV.com, hit my GetFPV affiliate link, get on over to GetFPV, and get yourself some canvas prop bags. This is such like a quality of life kind of thing. It's just so annoying to have, you know, the tips of propellers sticking out of your prop bags, cutting through the plastic. I tried that Vtx prop bag and it worked for a little bit, but sure as shit, the props just sent their little sharp tips right out the damn thing, and that was the end of that. Yeah, I taped it back together and it's fine, but yeah, quality of life stuff, man. And then we've got a TBS bag here to round out our exploration of my mail bag. And let's see, this should be. They have a couple of Acon things that like nobody else has, and I'm such a nerd with Acon stuff that that I wanted to grab a couple. I think it's their flight controller. No real reason to be as nerdy as I am about Acon. The T-motor stuff almost undoubtedly is made by Acon, but I've got a couple of rigs with Acon ESCs, and like it just makes me all kinds of erect to put an Acon flight controller on a rig with an Acon ESC. It's my birthday. Fuck you if you're offended by that. It's my day, goddammit. I can say whatever I want. I can say erect. I can say stiffy. This is my day. They also have. It's just VHB, but it's a nice width. The VHB that you guys always see me use is almost gone, and I remembered that I ordered it from TBS, so I got another little roll of VHB. Whatever. You can get VHB off of Amazon, but yeah, they had it, so I snagged it. I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's a spare. Oh, this was a waste of money. This is back before I flew that that Kiss rig and realized that it's a hot mess. But I snagged a replacement bell, a steel motor V3 replacement bell in like hand hammered. I should have flown that rig first, and I would have realized that it's a nightmare. But that's okay. Not the end of the world. Wherever that rig ends up going, it'll have an extra motor bell with it, which it'll probably need because those steel motors are the least durable from what everybody says. Another Immortal T. An extra Crossfire Nano, which is really good because I've run out of those as well. Some battery straps. These are it's hard to find. It's getting harder and harder to find the really lightweight plastic buckle short battery straps. So I snagged another couple. And yeah, here they are. Yeah, Acon F7 Mini DJI digital. It's got a 10 volt. Is it a 10 volt or is it a 9 volt? It's got a 10 volt Beck on board, and it's got a plug header for DJI, which is just really nice because then you know you hardwire up to the Vista, and then you've got a plug on here, so you can unplug it, and then you've got the VTX separate from the. Oh look, they sent a little sticker sheet. Very cool. This will go into a giveaway shipping out thing. Oh, and a Velocidrone 5% discount card. This will also go in with a giveaway. Is tomorrow a giveaway stream? I don't think it is. No, I think it is. Last Monday was not a giveaway stream, so I think tomorrow is a giveaway stream, so somebody will win that. But yeah, this is awesome. I got, I'll have a couple all Acon rigs, which will just, you know, make me feel nice. Warm and fuzzies. It's all about them warm and fuzzies, isn't it? When you get old, it is. Let me scroll back up and get caught up on chat. That is the end of mailbag for this stream. You're gonna have to look at someone else's mailbag. Mine is going back in my pants. Dragonwing says H9 and 10 same battery, yes. Not sure what that's in reference to, Dragonwing. H9 and 10 same battery, yes. Tag me again and tell me more. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it looks like I missed that comment. Oh, wait, no, here we go. Brainsback Bean says, you should have asked for the air freshener on the rearview mirror mod. That's next level immersion. Todd Beal says, do you add people on your GT7 to race with? If so, I want to add you. So I have someone to race with. Wanted to ask you since you brought that up. Happy birthday. Thank you, Todd. Typically not on... I mean, people do add me on there. My PlayStation name is the phonetic spelling of Ciotti, which I'm typing into the chat. SEEAHHTEE. There it is in the chat. If you want to add me on PlayStation 4 or whatever, PlayStation Plus, I guess, you're more than welcome to. I typically don't do races with other people, though. I play through career mode in live streams, and then outside of live streams, I typically just play single player. But you never know. If we're both in there at the same time, then yeah, maybe we can smash into each other a little bit. Veritas Weasel says, be careful with your slingshot. That tubing is surgical tubing. Make sure you inspect it. As it ages, it will crack, and then it will snap and hit you in the eye. I've done that as a kid. That's what I'm worried about. I put a rock in it, and I was like, oh my god, I pulled this right up to my face. I think with the fishing weight, I'm not going to be like eyeballing it. You know, I'm just going to be like holding it up and then down and then just like, so if it snaps, it'll just hit me in the boobies. So I should be okay. Jay Drone says, happy birthday, old fart. Thank you, dude. The goddamn antenna's blue, he says. It is blue indeed. Expander says, hi, gangly gang. Hi, CiottiFPV. What's up, brother? Acon on Acon action, Brandon says. Brandon is actually who helped me realize that that the gyro in the existing Acon flight controller that I have was not bad, so that was pretty cool. That's something that you can figure out with Black Box. That's a little bit harder to figure out without it. I'm exhausted. The yurt gets very bright when the sun comes up, so I was up at like 8 a.m. today. I'm gonna try to use that and get my sleep schedule back on track a little bit here, but we'll see. We'll see if I can not take a nap tonight. Dragonwing says CiottiFPV gets. Oh boy. Not going to read the rest of that one. You guys can read it on your own. Verity says, which motor is the best for a Modula 7 digital? 1102 10,000 or 0802 16,000? Depends on a lot of things, Verity. You know, your flying style, how like the voltage that you're running it on. I don't really know anything about the Modula 7 digital, but like those two motors are pretty drastically different though. So an 1102 10,000 kV is really only going to work if it's a 2S rig. An 0802 16,000 kV is kind of somewhere in the middle. Like that kV is a little bit too high for 2S technically, but you can just use the motor's output limiting in the PID tab on Betaflight and bring that under control. 0802 is a motor size that's kind of really gonna do best with a very, very lightweight rig, and a Modula 7 digital is probably not gonna be all that lightweight, so I think the 1102 10,000 would be the better bet. But yeah, so between those two motors, I think the 1102 10,000 is almost certainly gonna be the better bet. I can say that. Dragon Ring says H9 equals Hero 9. Gotcha. Uses the same battery as Hero 10. Awesome. Thank you, Dragon Ring. Tyler DD says, is that old man thumbnail your dad or grandpa? It's me. A year ago when I did a birthday stream, there was an Instagram filter that made you look really old, and it was like really convincing. So that's what that's from. I just reused last year's thumbnail. But yeah, it's me. Expander says, it's your birthday. I thought your 40th was just recently. It was a year ago. Or is the time really going that fast? Oh, well, happy birthday, brother, and happy Easter. Thank you, dude. Yeah, that was a year ago. To the day. Ed K says, better late than never. Happy birthday, happy Easter. Thank you, dude. Veritas Weasel says, the tubing is going to whip. The proper way to aim is pulling it past your eye, so chances are you're going to get smacked good and in the eye. Realistically, I probably won't use the damn thing. I've only gotten a rig. I mean, I don't even fly freestyle anymore, so I probably will never use it. But I've only ever gotten a rig stuck in a tree so high that I couldn't throw the weight up there one time. I have a 33-foot long pole in the trunk, retractable pole, and that almost always works. If it's too high for that pole, I try swinging the weight around and throwing it up. If that doesn't work, I'll usually just tie the string to the bottom of a rig and fly it up over the branch and disarm it. But yeah, we'll see. It's this slingshot's like $10, so it'll be nice to have. It does creep me out though, putting so much energy into that surgical tubing near my face. So we'll see. But it'll be really nice to have in the car. Todd Beal says, going to send the request now before I forget, because I'm going out to fly mine. Mine is Honda CRX 1012. If you see your request, nickname is Blackout. Sounds good, Todd. All right, cool. Look at that. I'm caught up. It's 4:35. Look at me go. Look at us go. I've created a huge mess over here. And I'm not going to build on my birthday. I'm going to call shenanigans on that. Do I have anything else that we did mailbag? I can open up the shifter so you guys can see how unbelievably beefy the damn thing is. This is a Q&A stream, so feel free to leave any questions that you've got in the chat. And we'll talk through them over the next 25-ish minutes. Otherwise, I'm probably actually going to maybe I'll end the stream a couple of minutes early and chill out a little bit. I'm a little bit hungry. Make myself some foods, and yeah, just relax in the rest of my break. Actually, I have to do my taxes. I waited. I kind of lost track of April. But I don't actually think I made enough money last year to really need to do taxes, but I'll see. I got like one W-9 from Google. Put that into TurboTax. We'll see what it says. But it should be infinitely easy. All right, look at this thing, yo. Couple of extension cords so that you can route the cable properly. Look at this big chunky motherfucker. So it's gated for up to 7 speeds. And then they also give you a different plate for the top here to turn it into a sequential. A push-pull sequential, which is pretty cool. But check this out. Check this out. Just listen, ready? It's a sound thing. You can hear how beefy it is, ready? Ain't that some shit? It's just nuts, man. Like really, really, really well made. And yeah, it springs in between the 3rd, 4th gate as it should. And then yeah, good spring tension. Reverse 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's hard to do with 2 hands, but yeah, man. Ooh. I can't wait for that 3D printed piece to come from Brian from Brain, and to get this onto the Play Seat Challenge, and start rowing gears in Gran Turismo 7. One thing that GT7 does is they don't let you use the clutch without this. Assetto Corsa does. On Assetto Corsa, you can use the paddles and the clutch, but the Gran Turismo games don't let you do that. So yeah, I'll be able to start using the clutch in GT7, which will be pretty awesome. So yeah, ooh, a beefy bastard has arrived, and this is a common thread, so I can actually put a real deal shift knob on this, which will be fun. Really well made, really well made piece. Can't wait to start pounding on it. I'll probably never put the push-pull plate on there because you can... Oh no, I guess you can't. Yeah, maybe I will put it on there at some point. I thought that it would spring to the center, but it springs and locks in gear. The push-pull has a separate spring on it that always centers it, so you can just bang it forward or pull it back. That's what she said. Very cool. What an awesome birthday weekend and birthday. Yeah, there's the push-pull plate. You can see the little spring in there that always centers the gear knob. So we've got USB to wacky pin, and then there's this is like a serial. I think this is the one that plugs into the T300, and then this would be the USB that plugs into like a computer. Couple of screws. Very cool. Very cool. This is an impressive piece of kit. Love it. God, I have the coolest fucking people in my life. You guys included in that. Toys, yo. Mad toys. That's what it's all about, right? He who dies with the most toys wins. That was a... my dad had a little poster that said that when I was growing up. I always thought it was the funniest effing thing in the world. My dad's the best. Alright, that fits in there. I will not need this one, so this can hang out in the box. Grizz says, check your Instagram messages. I got a picture for you. Let's see what we got here. Chat's talking about the American tax system. That's a Vietnam right there. It's a disappearing message, Grizz. I can't look at it on the computer. I have to look on my phone. Oh, Grizz built his glide. Very cool. Grizz built a glide, yo. Awesome, man. Drop those pics in the Discord. Very cool. Yeah, buddy. One more glide convert. Look at this. Look at the size of this instruction manual for a shifter. What could it possibly say? Plug shifter in, mount shifter. That's it. Oh, no shit. You can increase the you can increase and decrease the side-to-side resistance. Oh yeah, look at that. They put a little screw head in there. Oh, I'll be damned. Very cool. Certain real deal shifter setups, you can do the same. If you have issues like missing certain shifts, like the 2 to 3 shift or the 4 to 5 shift, or vice versa, 5 to 4, 3 to 2, you can change that spring tension for more centering or less centering. It's really handy. One of those things that only the ultra nerds realize. Well, cool. This is pretty awesome. This push-pull setup is going to be pretty slick. It's not going to get used much, but it will get used. I'm going to leave it out. I'm going to leave it out. Ah! Everything's flying everywhere. I'm gonna leave the instruction manual out and I'm gonna read it. They went and printed such a big book. I'm gonna read it. What do you think about that, world? Well, cool. Let me get caught up on chat and then I'm actually gonna call this one early because I'm hungry as hell. And I'm gonna go, you know, just relax on my birthday and get ready for doing taxes. GrizzFPV says, will do, and it has an AIO. Well, then don't post pictures in the... I'm just kidding. Nicholas Stick says, happy birthday. Thanks, brother. Thanks for being with me while I turn 41 years old, friends. I love you guys. I think tomorrow night is a giveaway night. Don't quote me on that. Look at last Monday night, and if it was, then tomorrow night's not. If it wasn't, then tomorrow night is. See you guys tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Much appreciated. And, yeah, go out and fly. Here comes some flying. Speaking of, here comes some flying. At a really cool little spot that's kind of around the corner that I keep meaning to go back to. And love ya. Later. Hold on, I gotta restart OBS. Be right back. Later.